Greece is divided between 13 regions, plus one autonomous region, themselves further divided into 74 regional units. These can be important for understanding Greek history, as well as for understanding which kettlebus to take when traveling around the country, so here's a very basic overview of these regions. Nearly half the population of Greece lives in and around the city of Athens, whose metropolitan area covers most of the region of Attica. Attica is a peninsula bordering the historic region of Boeotia within central Greece, with the island of Evia nearby just barely qualifying as an island. Nearby Phocis, meanwhile, has the sanctuary of Apollo in Delphi, which according to the ancient Greeks was the center of the world. South of Attica and Boeotia, you find Corinthia and the historic region of Megaris, forming a narrow isthmus connecting the Peloponnese to the rest of Greece. The Peloponnese is technically an island nowadays with the construction of the Corinth Canal, but it's better just to treat it as a peninsula. The Peloponnese is further divided into several smaller regions. Argolis, centered around Argos and Nafplio, Laconia around Sparta, Messenia with Kalamata, yes, just like the olives, Elis around Pyrgos and the sanctuary of Zeus at Olybia, Achaia in the north with the country's third largest city Patras, and Arcadia around Tripoli, the capital of the Peloponnese as a whole. Do note, however, that Elis and Achaia are conjoined with Aetolia Acarnania to form the region of western Greece. North of central Greece, the region of Thessaly takes up the eastern part, while Epirus takes up the northwest, just south of Albania. In the far north, meanwhile, is the region of Macedonia, though there's also another country calling itself that. However, in the past few years, they've started calling themselves North Macedonia to hopefully make things easier. This area holds the second largest city, Thessaloniki, as well as the triple peninsula of Chalkidiki, with the easternmost finger holding the autonomous region of Mount Athos. Macedonia is administratively split between a west, a center, and an east that also includes parts of Thrace, which it shares with southeastern Bulgaria and the European part of Turkey. These regions are traditionally quite unlike the rest of Greece, particularly in ancient times, as the Macedonian language was either a separate Greek dialect or a separate Hellenic language as a whole, depending on who you ask. Meanwhile, the Thracians were a completely different group altogether. And of course, that's just mainland Greece, as the country is very much dominated by the sea. These are the people who gave us the terms thalassocracy, after all, and democracy, and autocracy, and geography. But you know what, just let me have my poetic symbolism here. The largest island in Greece is Crete, or Kriti, only slightly smaller than Cyprus, which is a different country and also fiendishly complicated. The rest of the islands can be divided between the Ionian and the Aegean seas. The Ionian islands include Corfu, or Kerkyra, Lefkada, Kefalonia, Ithaca, and Zakynthos, who all have a measurable Italian influence after centuries of Venetian rule, just as the south of Italy also bears a lot of Greek influence. Cultural symmetry. This region also includes the island of Kythera, just south of Laconia, whose name you might have heard if you've ever heard of the Antikythera mechanism, an analog computer from the 2nd century BC, which was found near the small neighboring island of Antikythera. The Aegean islands, meanwhile, can be divided into 6 different groups: the North Aegean, namely Limnos and Thasos, East Aegean, like Lesbos, Chios, and Samos, the Sporades, the Cyclades or Cyclades, most famously Mykonos, Naxos, and Santorini, officially Thera, the Dodecanese, most famously Rhodes or Rhodos, but also Kos, Karpathos, and Kalymnos, and the Saronic Islands between Attica and Argolis. If you want to learn more about Greek geography and how it shaped ancient Greece as a whole, click here to watch this video on my main channel, or to continue watching if it was what brought you here in the first place.